My dear brothers and sisters, these 9 days we will be concentrating on Ignatius. Saint Ignatius was born in the year 1491, and until the age of 26, he lived a normal life. He desired for worldly things. Basically, he was a soldier, and he wanted to do great things for his king and for himself. He wanted to have vanity, fame, and you name it. But things did not remain as they were. In the year 1521, there was this battle of Pamplona against the French. And in that battle, a cannonball shattered his knee. The French saw his bravery and they took him on a stretcher to his castle Loyola. While he was recuperating in his castle, there was a moment he was about to die, but God saved him. And while he was recuperating, he wanted to read romantic books, but they were not available. And they gave him what was available, and he read the book of Life on Christ and Lives of the Saints. He kept reading them again and again, and also kept pondering over them, what he just read. And at the same time, he also was getting worldly thoughts of the flesh. And there was a difference. Whenever he was thinking about the worldly thoughts and about the flesh, about women, for a moment, it gave him delight. But later on, those thoughts kept him dry and dissatisfied. And whenever he thought about spiritual things or the lives of the saints, going on barefoot pilgrimage to Rome, and also imitating the saints, the rigors that they had done, there was satisfaction and consolation, and he was joyful. So he was able to distinguish these two patterns of thought, the worldly thoughts and spiritual thoughts. And whenever he thought about the spiritual thoughts, he said, if Saint Dominic and Saint Francis of Assisi can do this, I also have to do it. If Saint Dominic can become a saint, and if Saint Francis of Assisi could become a saint, I too will have to become a saint. This kind of challenge he proposed to himself. And later on, he also had a spiritual vision. He saw Our Lady carrying baby Jesus in her arms. And this sight of this vision of Mary carrying Jesus left a lasting impression on him, because from that day he decided never ever to think of the worldly things or the things of the flesh. And he recalls until the year 1553, he never ever enjoyed or took pleasure in thinking about the worldly things or the things of the flesh. He completely changed himself. Earlier, he was man centered on himself. But later on, he was centered on Christ and what he would do. And not only that, once he changed himself, he said, whatever I have gained, the spiritual things I have enjoyed, I must share these things to others. The way I have returned from worldly things to spiritual things, I also must get others to detest worldly things and come to a spiritual life. That way, he met his future companions, Saint Peter Faber and Saint Francis Xavier, at the University of Paris. And later on, he gathered many others, and whatever insight, spiritual insights he had, he shared with them, and he also got them converted. And now, because of this one person, we have thousands of people whom they have enjoyed his spiritual things, and that he wrote in a book called The Spiritual Exercises. And many have benefited from this masterpiece, the book of Spiritual Exercises. And because of him, we have more than 50 saints in the church. Let's ask God, just like Saint Ignatius, who was inspired by spiritual things, that we too in our daily lives may spend considerable time reading the Bible, the lives of Christ, and many spiritual books, and like him, we too may change our lives from detesting worldly things to coming closer to embracing life of the saints and life of conversion.